coming to tonight's talk. For those of you that don't know, Fenzing is kind of an online marketplace for talks and experiences. So this is just one of many talks that's going on in Bristol. But tonight we've got the brilliant Shaun doing us a talk on murders, Mafia, Hitmen and Ewan's prison. You're in for a real treat. We will have a break about halfway through. The bar won't be open, but the toilets are just over in the other building over there. But we'll be finished by 9:30 or before. So enjoy the talk.
Alright, thank you for coming out on this hot evening, everybody. My name is Shaun Attwood. I'm a public speaker, author and human rights activist. My story in a nutshell, from the Northwest originally, after my business studies degree, I made a couple of million in the stock market in America. The money went to my head, didn't have any common sense whatsoever, started throwing Manchester-style rave parties with it, had people smuggling ecstasy over from Holland, so I was knowingly breaking the law, take full responsibility for what happened. SWAT team smashed my door down, and I ended up in this jail that's got the highest rate of death in America, where not only were the gang members like the neo-Nazi Aryan Brotherhood murdering the prisoners, even the guards were murdering mentally ill prisoners. So I'm known for my hard-hitting talks. This one has got all of the most hard-hitting ingredients put together in one talk. It's a recent talk that was started. And I'm going to get right into it now. Some of you already saw on the sound check. I'm going to show a video now of the guards murdering a mentally ill prisoner in the jail I was housed at. Alright, before we get to the rest of the hard-hitting stuff, you're probably wondering how a nerdy business graduate from the Northwest ends up over here running an ecstasy ringing competition with the Mafia. So I'm just going to go over my backstory briefly. So, when I was a young person, I got interested in the stock market at 14. My teacher was giving me classes on my own in economics, showing me the Financial Times, explaining what all the numbers meant. 16, borrowed 50 quid off my nan, doubled it in British Telecom shares. So I'm telling all my mates in the town up north, go to America, make $1 million, fly you guys over. That was my dream. Sixth form, A-levels, maths, physics, economics, and then business studies at Liverpool Uni. So when I graduated, England was in recession, hard to get a job. I had 2 aunts in Arizona. They were like, just jump on a plane, come out here, get a job real easy with your English accent. So that's what I did. Now, I was dazzled by Arizona as a teenager. I go and visit my aunts, one of them when I was 16. She changed the date of birth in the passport, so I was 21. Took me out to all these nightclubs in Phoenix, introducing me to all these beautiful American women as Paul McCartney's nephew. So you can imagine the effect this had on me, coming from the Northwest, where I'm a nobody, go to Arizona, they hear the English accent, rolling out the red carpet for Paul McCartney's nephew, and then, got to move out here when I finish school. So that's what I did. Now, I got a job right away as a stockbroker. Sounds fancy, stockbroker. Has anyone seen The Wolf of Wall Street? If you've seen The Wolf, you know it's just glorified telesales. Day one of the job, my boss slaps the phone book down, says you need to call 500 numbers a day to find people to buy shares. I had to be in the office 6 o'clock in the morning sales meeting, cold calling all day long. First couple of years I wasn't much good at it. It was commission only, running out of money on my student credit cards. I was down to living off cheese on toast and bananas, worried I was going to have to come home. But 5 years in, I'm the top guy in the office, grossing $500,000 a year, got my own staff, secretary, cold callers. I'm only in my 20s, and I've got enough money to retire. Put that money into technology shares, they shut up, that was how I became a millionaire. But the money went to my head, and I started to throw raves with it. Now, this scene started when I was at uni. It was called Acid House. And it was a revolution in music in this country. Young people were breaking into warehouses, airplane hangars, wearing all this crazy coloured clothing, dancing to what was a new style of music back then, and taking ecstasy. So I'm seeing this on the news, I'm like, what is going on in this country? Mate out of Manchester says, come and check this club out. Went to the club, tried ecstasy, tried speed, kept doing the drugs, not thinking of the consequences. When I got to Arizona, rave scene was very small. Started throwing house parties at first. I've got the most money, showing off, buying everybody drugs, thinking I'm Mr. Cool Guy. And I'm getting addicted to the attention I'm getting from throwing these parties, as I am getting addicted to the drugs. But I'm not thinking about where it was all leading, it was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, later on, I ended up going deep inside myself and addressed the root causes of what led to my drug taking. And a sad thing happened to me when I was a teenager. I just passed my driver's license test, went to fill up my mum's little red car with petrol, and 4 drunks started behaving abusively towards me. Big guys in their 20s, like rugby player size. I thought it was brave to stand up to them, but it was a mistake. They surrounded me, got me on the floor, started kicking me in the body and kicking me in the head. And all I could do was curl up in the fetal position. I couldn't get out of the situation. One pulled out my bar, smashed me in the face, knocking pieces of my teeth out. My whole body started to go warm and numb. And I'm lying there like this. And I got so hot, it got to the point where I couldn't feel the pain anymore. So I thought they must have stopped hitting me, so this is good, you can open your eyes now. So I opened my eyes and they were still hitting me. I couldn't understand why I couldn't feel the pain. And I was so frightened, I thought, perhaps this is what dying feels like, but I wasn't dying, I was just going unconscious. So I woke up in this pool of blood, bits of my teeth missing, and smashed my car windows, my vision was blurred. Somehow I managed to drive home, my parents took me to hospital. All that was broken was my teeth, so I still got these veneers on my front teeth to this day. Well, that compounded an anxiety I had as a teenager. I won't go out and dance, won't go out and talk to women, won't talk to strangers. But when this rave scene started, I took ecstasy, couldn't stop dancing all night long, wouldn't even want to go and take a pee break, talking to strangers, hugging people all night long. Unfortunately, drugs became my crutch. I didn't think I was an interested enough person around to be around unless it was high for the following 10 years. And I just got deeper and deeper into that lifestyle. So in the beginning, I'm throwing house parties for my mates, just showing off, giving the drugs away for free. And then I start to get greedy, thinking, I've got to be up at 5 in the morning to go to work. I can quit all that and just start to make money from the party scene. I could only get about 50 to 100 pills from local dealers. So I figured out where they were getting from LA. So I called that guy, contacted that guy through a mutual friend, arranged to buy 1,000 hits, something around $10 a hit. Went out there with money. This guy's like a surfer gangster in West Hollywood. And I'm at his house, he's not even home. He shows up hours later, he's just waiting there with his surfboard and his gangster mates. And they go in there, and I'm thinking these guys could rob me. The police might be watching the place, they might arrest me when I come out. You know, I tell him I've got the money, where's the pills? He goes into the room. I'm thinking, is he going to come out with a gun? Will a gun on me, just take the money? But he came out with the biggest bag of ecstasy pills I'd ever seen. And I was familiar with the taste of ecstasy by then. A good pill should be like 100, 125 milligrams of MDMA in clay, beige or like a white colour. I just asked him for one, put it in my mouth, chewed it tasted good, handed the money over, and it built up from there. Now I ended up with about 3 suppliers out of LA. They could only get about 5,000 pills at a time. So I sent people out to Holland. There was a website called Dance Safe, because I'm dealing this many pills, possibly somebody could die. Most of the people die from ecstasy because there's a fake ingredient in the pill. So I sent people out with these testing kits from this website, Dance Safe, and they test the pill, and it turns this like blue-purple colour, so you know it's pure ecstasy. And then we then got the scale of it then was where these guys were bringing back 30 to 40,000 hits at a time. Yeah, and I have a reputation for having clean pills, and nobody ever died from any of them. We then started smuggling them from Mexico, because of the amount of them. I would send people on a plane from Mexico City over to Europe, and then they get the train down to Holland, because you can't just jump on a plane from America to Holland and come right back. It's a red flag. So if you go from Mexico to Europe, get the train down, get your pills. And this is before 9/11, so don't anybody try this, because you can get most people try this right now. Back then, you could put that many pills in your luggage, and you would get through undetected. And people just put them in pillowcases. If you wanted to be more secure, you could put them in computer towers and screw them into the computer towers. Yeah. So people would fly from Mexico over to Germany, back again. I had operations in Puerto Penasco, which is called Rocky Point. So my smugglers would come into Mexico City by plane, Then they'd fly over to Hermosillo, which is on the California side of Mexico. They wouldn't then try and transport them over into the Arizona border. They come over to me in Rocky Point, and in Rocky Point I've got loads of people down there. We've got all these vehicles, we've got like University of Arizona stickers on our vehicles, all kinds of tourist stuff, so that when we go back over the border, scuba diving tanks, you know, they just look at us and say, have a nice day, just wave us right in. Nobody ever got busted bringing the pills over the Arizona border using this method. Yeah. Now, as you rise up in the ranks of the drug world, you're going to be eventually bumping heads with the Mafia, because in the long run, the smaller people, it's a sucker's game, they get wiped out, they end up in prison. But the Mafia's got the resources to keep this kind of a business going, so ultimately the Mafia end up running all the major drug operations. And I was actually protected by the New Mexican Mafia, who were classified as the most violent, dangerous Mafia in Arizona at that time. Now, how on earth did I end up with these guys protecting me? So I was supplying some pills to an apartment party. This other guy came. He was a Mexican-American guy, all tattooed out. He had long black hair, and he was supplying coke and weed. So because we were the dealers, I started talking to the Mexican-American guy, G-Dog. And what happened was, a policeman just walked in, said, I could smell weed outside, nobody moved, went to grab his radio, he was going to call it in and have everybody arrested. The guy I'm talking to pulls out a gun, points at the cop, says, the only one who's not leaving is you, motherfucker. Everybody run. Yeah, I've not seen anything this heavy before, so we all run off into the night. Now, this is a huge apartment complex, and I've got other people in this apartment complex, so I went to this apartment where my friends were at. So we're in there, and there's drugs in there, and we can hear the police sirens, and we're thinking, oh, you know, what should we do? Should we flush these drugs? Will they end up coming here? Next thing on the French window, bang, 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 bang. We're thinking it's the cops or something, but we look, and it's G-Dog. And he's like, let me in. We're like, oh shit, this is going to get heavy now. So G-Dog comes in. And we're all terrified. We're thinking, now the police are just going to totally follow this guy, come here. There's helicopters, there's dogs, there's everything. He's just pulled a gun on the cop. This is serious. So he skills us, he said, if the police come, they've not had time to get a warrant, don't answer the door, they can't knock your door down, they've got to have a warrant. So we just shut off the lights, shut off the TV, everybody was quiet. The police did come, and we just didn't answer the door, and we went to the next apartment. And eventually, hours later, they cleared out that apartment. There was one cop car out the front. So at the end of the night, because he was so hot in that area, and I had properties all over the place, I said to him, I've got a property in Phoenix, why don't you come over to Phoenix and cool off over there while you're so hot here in Tempe? So that's what he did. And then when I finally dropped him off, he said, Shaun, because you and your friends protected me that day, me and my brothers have got your back. I had no idea what that meant. So months later, he says, my brothers finally want to meet you, they want to check your ecstasy out. So I go over to the street with G-Dog, all these low-rider show cars on the street, these classic cars with like Elvis movies and stuff, the fins on them. And his brother answers, looks like one of these guys on the right, no hair, just mean face. And he's looking at me and he hears my accent. He's like, damn, homie, that's a funny accent. Guess you are from England, homie. He's like, come through, meet my homies. So I go through to the living room. There's all these massive tattooed Mexican-American guys. They've got like the wife beater vests on, the shorts down below the knees, all these chains and stuff. Guns, like rifles, AKs, Uzis. They've got slabs of cocaine and crystal meth and weighing apparatus all over the place. And I look at the TV, I'm like, wow, I've never seen a TV this big in my life. They've also got a little TV next to it showing everyone who's coming up and down the street. And then I'm staring at the TV and I'm like, no way, that can't be. It's not an ornament. I think I saw one of these in a Rambo movie once. They had a rocket-propelled grenade launcher on top of the TV. Yeah. Now those guys never smiled. They always looked at me like they wanted to eat me. Except for one time, they were getting ecstasy off me. And they said, our women are coming over, we're going to have an ecstasy party. You know, there's a good reputation about your stuff. So I brought the pills over. And in the middle of the night, I got a call from them. And they said, we need more pills, we've run out. So I went over there, and they were all high. They were all high on ecstasy for the very first time. And if you've ever done ecstasy, you remember back to your very first time. They were picking me up like these big, sweaty, overgrown teddy bears, smiling and sweating all over me. They're like, England man, we love your pills, we love your pills. They never ever smiled at me again after that night. I didn't even know who they were properly until about a year later, I was dropping G-Dog off at his brother's house. The whole neighbourhood was blacked out. Police were out with like light ones directing the traffic. And as we approached his house to drop him off, his brother and all his mates were getting taken out in handcuffs. And it was headline news that night. New Mexican Mafia, most violent and dangerous criminal organisation in Arizona at that time. And the good thing about it was people knew I was connected with those guys. And a lot of money out there in drug debt, and it sure started to get paid faster after that news headline went out. One of the other times I went over with G-Dog, there was a hitman, a huge guy called Porky. He was on a killing spree. I didn't know, but I went over there, and Porky just gets this massive spoonful of coke and puts it in front of me. He's like, snort this! Because if you don't snort it, then they think you're an undercover cop, and they're going to take you out to the desert. Yeah. So, I'm looking at G-Dog, like, what should I do? G-Dog's like, snort it. So it went down, yeah. Right. We'll get past this video clip. My competition at the peak of it in the ecstasy market was Sammy the Bull Gravano, the underboss of the Gambino crime family, who'd murdered almost 24 people. Sammy the Bull Gravano was the underboss of the Gambinos when John Gotti was the Teflon Don. Here they are back at the peak of their power. So the Teflon Don was known as the Teflon Don because they said no charges ever stuck against him. He had this really good lawyer, and he was always going to court and winning his cases. And the way these guys came to power was, there was 5 main Italian mafia families that made the council. And the Gambino boss was Paul Castellano. And Paul was going around in his mansion that was a replica of the White House in his silk pajamas, and saying that he was going to whack anybody who got involved in drugs, while he was taking drug money from some gangs. But John Gotti, he was dirty in the drug business, and he was looking at facing possibly the death sentence for this guy. So they thought, alright, why don't we just take out the boss? You can't just take out a mafia boss without getting permission from the families. That's a death sentence in itself as well. But they did it on the slide, and they got these guys to dress up in these big long trench coats and Russian fuzzy hats. And as Paul was going to one of his favourite steakhouses in New York, these guys with the Russian disguises on just came and whacked him as he was going into the steakhouse. And that's how they took control of the Gambino crime family. So there's a movie coming out about these guys, starring John Travolta, playing Don. Joe Pesci was supposed to be in the original, I don't think he made it. So, years later in prison, Sammy the Bull's son, Gerard Gravano, told me that he'd been dispatched one night to kidnap me from a nightclub and take me out to the desert. Yeah. And the only reason we missed these guys is because one of my main detectives, Wildman, from my hometown, this big guy, he got in a scuffle, and we'd had to leave that club in a hurry. So the drugs was telling me, you're Mr. Cool Guy, you're living like a character out of Blow, Pulp Fiction. And well, actually, the drugs had scrambled my decision-making processes, and I'd surrounded myself with people who were all on the same slippery slope. and we were reinforcing each other's negative behaviour. Once I got into jail and that cloud lifted out of my head, the drugs were put in there, and I look back on situations like this, it's like, how on earth are you still alive? Definitely went through my 9 lives. So some of his tattoos, we're going to get to a story about one of my cellmates who wanted to kill me later on. And he actually did some of his tattoos in the cell I was in for a bit. So Sammy the Ball Gravano got released from prison. He's got Graves' disease. And people ask me, Shaun, talking about these guys, is it safe? They're going to get whacked coming out of this talk tonight. The Gravanos have actually gone to Hollywood now, and the daughter, Karen Gravano, was a star of the hit show Mob Wives. And I have corresponded with Gerard Gravano by email, so there's no Mafia threat from me, from the Gravanos. So it wasn't my brightest idea to break the law in this state that it's all these big, bad, redneck guards and the gang members are murdering the prisoners. When I first went in, it was May 16, 2002, I'd actually met with them. She taught me out the dealing. She said, you know, she loved me and it was harmful and all this stuff. And I quit the dealing a year before I got arrested. I thought I got away with it. I thought the police had to catch you with the drugs. All it takes is for someone from your past to tell the police that you sold the drugs to them and they've got a witness against you. Yeah, so I was naive to the statute of limitations law, which is 7 years in Arizona. So I was still going out on the weekend, even though I quit the deal and getting hiring mates. And that enabled the police to gather some evidence against me through these wiretaps. They'd listened to all these calls. And I barely spoke. They had thousands and thousands of calls and people throwing my name out and stuff like that. So I ended up in the beginning in a medium security Towers jail. And here's what the cell looks like. About the size of a bus stop shelter, originally designed for one person. Over the years, we put 3 bunks, one on top of the other, so it's overcrowded. When you first go in, you're housed in here, and if you want to use the toilet, you've got the guys in the living room on this side, you've got the guys in the day room on this side. Going on the toilet with people walking around is embarrassing, which is one of the many things you've got to get used to. You think it's hot today here, but we're in the high 30s that we hit today. High 20s was it? It was 30 something when we left London, wasn't it? Over there. It's almost 50 degrees in the summer in Arizona, in the Sonoran Desert. At the back of the cell, there is a vent attached to what's called a swamp cooler. But when it was working, which was the only time that it was working, was when the county health inspector came to the building. And then as soon as the county health inspector left the building, it went back onto the broken setting. We'd ask the guards if it wasn't working right away. It's broken again, sorry. Yeah. So, what starts to happen is the heat wreaks havoc on your skin. You get these skin infections and bed sores that itch and bleed. Especially on your behind. At one point it looked like I spilled battery acid on my leg. But because it's so hot, the outer layers of your skin turn soggy. So you get this itchiness because of all the bed sores and everything. But when you scratch yourself, because of the sogginess, clumps of your own skin detach under your nails. Well, the hardest part for me was just lying in this pool of sweat at night and the itchiness keeping me awake. One night, I managed to fall asleep on my side. I didn't realise it, but my ear filled up with sweat. When I changed position, the sweat just went all over my face. It's like someone was touching me, just freaked me out and woke me up. Yeah. So have you all had a nice meal this evening? We got 2 meals a day. Breakfast came in a plastic bag, mouldy bread and green bologna. Green bologna, raw sausage meat, got past the sell by day, got a green china strip. A lot of the food was in boxes. Businesses were thrown away because it had expired. Mould on the bread, blue, green. Sometimes our mould came in fantastic psychedelic colours that looked like works of art. And we were so hungry, we scratched the mould off the bread. If the bread was stale, put it in water and swirl it to get it down. Evening meal, mystery meat slop, we called Red Death. It looked like carroty vomit blended with blood. all kinds of random meat in it, and it stunk. Occasionally there was a dead rat in it. One time we gave a rat back to the guards and complained. They said they would investigate. Came back later in the day, so jail won't get in trouble. Said it was just a potato. There wasn't much we could do. The boss of the jail, one of his favourite quotes, "It costs us more to feed our police dogs than our prisoners. And our police dogs are working for a living." He says it costs him 50 cents or less per day to feed each prisoner rotten food. Yeah. So the underwear, the pink boxes, to humiliate the prisoner. This was the pink parade, where he moved all the prisoners from one prison to another, invited the media, and just had them all out in the pinks, and to make a publicity stunt out of it. That sheriff, he's no longer running the jail. He was really famous in America. He had 2 TV shows, Inmate Idol, where they had a talent contest in the jail with celebrity judges, and also Smiley Under Arrest, where someone with an outstanding warrant will get a notification in the mail that they won a prize, and when they go and get the prize, the sheriff pops up the rest of them as goons, Smiley Under Arrest. He has a website where you can look at the mugshots of the newly arrested prisoners, but he didn't leave it there. You also get to vote on who's the ugliest. Yeah. He's turned law enforcement into Hollywood entertainment. It's all completely gang controlled. In this country, it's ganged by area. So, say in a London prison, one postcode in London might be at war with another postcode in London over control of the drugs business. The drugs business in the prison is the absolute priority of the gang. If you get hinder the drugs business in any way in the prison, you're going to get eliminated fast. It's the number one cause of murder and violence is the drugs and the drug debts in prison. Now, in America, it's racial gangs. In Arizona, the 4 main gangs: whites, blacks, Mexicans, and Mexican Americans. Because I'm white, as soon as I go in, some skinheads from the neo-Nazi area will come up to me. "Hey, we want a word with you. Get in that cell back there." And you know you can't say no to these guys, because they're just going to smash your head into the wall. So go into the cell, they come in behind you, close the door, can't get out. Biggest one gets in the face. "What are your charges? What are your charges?" I'm new to this. My charges are on the printout. It's all in legal terminology. I have no idea what it means. So I say, I don't know what my charges mean. That was not a good answer. Now they think I've got something to hide. So they got me against the wall about to smash me. "What do you mean you don't know what your charges mean? Are you a chomo? Are you a chomo?" I don't know what chomo is either. Chomo's child molester. Some charges are KOS by the gang, which means kill on sight, such as paedophile stuff. Other charges are SOS, smash on sight, beat up on sight, such as drive-by shooting, because women and kids sometimes get hit. Anyone coming in with a sex offence or a crime against a woman or a child, right away a gang is going to try and murder them, but at the very least they're going to smash them. That's called convict justice. In the end, I pulled out my charge sheet. They saw I was into drugs. Nearly everyone is in prison for drug-related these days. That was acceptable. They saw my bail was $750,000 cash only, and they thought that was cool. They were like, "Damn, who did you kill? You guys Mafia?" I was like, "No, just throwing rage, ecstasy." But they like that bail. So then they explain all the rules you must follow, or else the whole gang will smash you. If someone calls you a punk, a bitch, or hits you, you've got to fight on the spot. This whole gang will smash you. Must take showers, or they'll smash you bad hygiene. Can't go make friends with guards, they'll smash you snitching. Can't go sit at the table with other racists, they'll smash you for them. Everything you take for granted about your safety is reversed. They're constantly looking for people to beat up, because that's how they earn their reputations and their tattoos. It's called putting work in to earn your political ink. And the more serious the act of violence, Higher up in the gang are the tats that they earn. Under every head of the gang, a guy's called torpedoes. They'll go in and smash someone, no questions asked, just so they can earn their tats, which look like this. Guy on the right, he was getting escorted to medical one day, snatched the guard's gun, shot him dead and escaped. He didn't get very far. He was actually rearrested at the local McDonald's. Straight to McDonald's. This guy on the left, that's full area Brotherhood membership tattoo. To earn that one, to be a full member, you have to murder someone for the jail in the event. Right, I'm just going to see if I can get this video working now. This is a video on my YouTube channel. It's got 1 million hits. It's a video of an Aryan Brother gang member murdering another inmate who's refused to beat someone up for the gang. The guy he's doing it to, he was on some little sentence, shoplifting or something like that. Yeah, he wasn't being filed, wasn't because the cameras haven't spotted it, he's now decided to bring the body out and show it off. Tries to throw it off the balcony. And you can't throw it off the balcony, so he just starts kicking it over and over again, waiting for the guards to come. While it's dangling over there. Still no guards. Yeah, they finally come after 20 minutes after he started to attack him. Yeah. So that really shows who's running the jail. Definitely not the guards, it's the gang members. It was half a spider grabs that. Here's what some of the tattoos mean. I'm sure most of you know what the teardrop tattoo means, that you kill someone for your gang. I give a copy of Hard Time Out, my jail memoir. Who could tell me what a clear teardrop means, just an outline? Attempted murder? No. It's what? Lost someone, yes. Sorrow for the loss of a fellow gang member. And then when you fill it in, you can fill it in like this. If you murdered the rival, you just murdered your fellow gang member. Yeah. That's the clear one there. So he's lost 2 of his homies, and if he murders the rivals, you can fill those both in so the solid like his. The preferred method to kill you is with a shank. They strip metal and you hear them at night, sharpen them into knives. All those in the background, homemade knives confiscated by the guards. Right. My job now is going across the country, scaring the living daylights out of school kids with my story, in the hope they won't get involved in the crime. So I show them these images I got from the prison guard coming up now of people who've been attacked and murdered in the jail. So if you are squeamish, you've got a choice not to look at this point. So he was murdered in a rage fire, shank into the skull, shank across the face, the gang put him so deep he could stick his tongue out through his cheek. Yeah. That's good old Sheriff Joe Violet there on the right, former boss of the jail. Now, if you think prisoners deserve this because they're pedos, murderers, rapists, I understand where you're coming from, because that's what I thought prisons were as well. All you hear in the news is extreme crimes on one side. On the other side, how easy it is. They've got PlayStations, they've got homemade food, they've got luxuries. And that's how the media keeps everybody hating on the prison population. Does anyone have any idea what the highest arrest category was in the history of criminal justice back then when I got arrested in America? Almost 1 million arrests a year. Weed possession. Yeah. all about filling these private prisons up because the politicians were getting kicked out. For every kid they arrested with weed, not dealers, kids with weed, the prison's got $50,000 a year of taxpayers' money per prisoner. And that's why America now has got 1 in 100 adults in prison. Before all this, women never used to go to prison. Women are now robbing banks, doing paedophilia, serial killing. Typically women don't engage in activity. There are a few, but not many. Once these drug laws were introduced and the private prisons were introduced, women became the fastest growing prison population. Hundreds of thousands of women in prison now, vast majority non-violent drug offenders. Anyone familiar with Black Lives Matter? It's a response to this. Black lives didn't matter at all. The average arrest was a Mexican kid or a black kid getting 2 to 5 years for a joint of weed. I was there when a war hero got sentenced. Black man, Vietnam vet, Purple Heart, been shot in the head by a sniper. The prosecutor said, he's an unemployed black man, he's got a nice new car, there was some crumbs of cocaine on the carpet, he must be a drug dealer. The judge was like, bam, sent him away for almost 10 years, just like that. Yeah. A third of the prisoners couldn't even read alright. Didn't have the advantages I had in life. Family support, good education. It made me feel doubly guilty for committing my crimes. So, my first year in medium security, and we get a lawyer, and we go and have this bail hearing. He's like, we can get your bail reduced from 750,000. You can fight your case outside. You don't have to be in jail anymore. You get all excited. Girlfriend's excited. All my local family show up in court. Uncle ex-police officer speaks on my behalf. Seems to have gone really well. Except, prosecutor's trying to make her name off my case. She sabotages the hearing. Judge doubles my bail to $1.5 million cash money. When your bail goes over $1 million, you reclassify from medium security over to maximum. So it's about 2 in the morning when I walk into the new cell. It's dark inside, there's some light coming in from the day room. First thing you notice is 2-man cell. It's improvement. Why is my cellmate asleep on the top bunk? Because where I come from, people fight over the bottom. Something's not quite right. Something drops off the ceiling and bounces off my shoulder. I start to see movement on the ceiling and the walls like a swirl effect. I think my eyes are playing tricks. Put my face right up to the wall to see what's going on. It's covered in these guys. Got used to violence by now. I'm trying to get sleep with these calls and they gave me nervous breakdown. I had to get on medication. 8 at night is lockdown. 10 lights out. They know when the lights are about to go on. They start lining up in the cracks in the wall in this whole building, doing this movement with that antennae sticking out, like an army waiting to invade. As soon as the lights go out, they just flood the room. So you've got a choice. Wrap a sheet around you, look like a mummy, leave a breathing hole. It does keep them off you, but the sheet traps the heat to your body. And like I mentioned, you've got all these bleeding, itching skin infections and bed sores. The trapped heat makes it so itchy you can't possibly sleep. So you end up just throwing the sheet off and letting them crawl on you. Fortunately, they don't bite. They start out tickling your feet, legs. To this day, if anyone tickles my hands, I flinch. Walk up someone else and tickle my hands. They get on your face, mouth, nose. They love going in your ears to eat your earwax. It's like honey to them. Is anyone in here asthmatic? I had a neighbour who was asthmatic. Woke up one morning, out of breath, grabbed his inhaler, blasted a live cockroach inside himself. Starts freaking out, saying he can feel it moving around. Throws up, and somehow it's stuck inside him and won't even come out. Even in the daytime, there were so many. Prisoners were doing cockroach races, gambling on the winner. And first thing in the morning, the fellows would grab themselves with plastic containers and put peanut butter in to trap them during the night, and they'd empty all the dead ones into the trash. Didn't matter how many we killed. They own the building. Now there was another threat from the insect world that also came out during the night that did bite. I think I heard somebody whisper something over there. If there's anyone in here that doesn't like spiders, you might not want to look at the next 3 images. The tarantulas were as big as my hand, big hairy fangs at the front, but the tarantulas were friendly and some of the prisoners made pets out of them. Black widow, potentially deadly, they stayed outside the building in the shade, they didn't bother us. Brown recluse. Recluse because you never see it. It comes up at night looking for food. You roll around in your sleep, and you touch it, it gets you. And you just wake up with little pinpricks on your skin. No big deal. In the following days, the pus starts to come out, and your skin sloughs away, and the venom eats into your flesh, down to the bone on some occasions, and causes what's called a volcano lesion. There were guys at the jail who being in shootouts, and as you're about to see, unless you're squeamish, these spiders have got little holes in people's bodies and bullets. I'll only show the next image for 5 seconds because it makes some people feel sick. So you don't want to look. 5. Oops, coming. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, there was the mosquitoes as well. There was a prison that I was at that was submerged into the dust bowl of the desert in Tucson. And our window was at the height of the ground, so all the bugs just loved coming into the windows at this level, especially the mosquitoes. So they come in, they look like this, and because it's so hot, you don't want to have a sheet on you, so you're an easy prey for them. And then when they get full of blood, they look like that. But they're kind of intoxicated when they're like this. And I was allowed a little fan at one point when I was in minimum security. So I've got this little fan going all night long. And they come in, get the blood, get intoxicated. They're like drunk flyers then. They like can't stay very well. And the fan, the force of the fan is sucking them in. So when I'm waking up, to my own blood splatter all over the wall, combined with mangled mosquitoes. Yeah. Now, in my second year in jail, I had a cellmate called Squeegee. And he'd been arrested 150-something times for petty offences. So he knew the ins and outs of the Arizona and Texas prison system. And he's the one who told me the full story of Arizona's most dangerous prisoner, Bonsai Bob. When you first come into the jail, you hear about him. He's like a bogeyman. Well, Squeegee was at prison where this guy was housed, so he knew what happened. So Bonsai Bob came in, he'd done some burglaries, he was like on a short sentence. And his cellmate didn't wake him up one morning for chow and drank his Kool-Aid. So he made a shank out of a toothbrush and stabbed his cellmate to death. He carved the word bonsai on him, but he misspelt it. And that's how he ended up getting the name Bonsai Bob. And when the guard came along, he said, "Why is my cellmate moving? Why isn't he getting up for counts?" Bonsai Bob said, "I killed him." And they said, "No, you didn't." So he just got out his lighter. This is back when you could smoke in the prison. He got his lighter and set fire to the guy's foot. When he didn't move, they knew they had killed him. So they put him in a higher security level. And his neighbour talked him smack about his niece. And you couldn't get out of your cells, but Bonsai Bob walked to the shower past this guy's cell. So he made a miniature milk carton bomb using her product you could buy from the store, some chemicals. And as he was going to the shower, he called his cellmate to the front of the cell, threw this bomb on him, threw toilet paper on him, lit him. The guy burned alive and died. But almost 24 prisoners almost died from the smoke, because they were in this enclosed area, but the smoke couldn't escape from this person getting burnt alive. The smoke almost killed 24 prisoners as well. Yeah. Now, Bonsai Bob went to court for these things, got out of his handcuffs, stabbed the guard, attacked people who come into the public gallery, and in the end, after multiple incidences of this kind of stuff, in a maximum security prison, they said you can never escape, he managed to get on the roof with another prisoner. They got completely surrounded, they knew they couldn't get anywhere, so they did a striptease dance and surrendered. And in the end, the warden of the prison said, this guy is so dangerous, the most dangerous prisoner ever. We're going to do something we've never done before in the history of Arizona prisons. We're going to build a special cell and put a shower in it, because you have the right to have a shower every so many days, and weld the door shut so this guy can never get out. They only opened that door one time, and that was to take him for the death penalty. Yeah. So I'm fighting my case for 26 months. I'm not cooperating with the prosecutor, so she's pulling out every single dirty trick in the book on me. She stopped my girlfriend from visiting me, was my lifeline, by charging her with one prescription pill found in our medicine cabinet on the daily raid. It didn't have a written prescription next to it, which was a class 6 felony. She was visiting me 3 times a week, all trying to bring me down psychologically. In the end, I signed this plea bargain for 9.5 years, and the prosecutor's final farewell was, she accidentally put my 9.5 year sentence down as 34 years on the paperwork to the prison system. So I was fast-tracked to where I shouldn't be going. Super maximum security prison, Florence, Arizona, out in the desert. Now, this prison does house the most violent, dangerous prisoners, including death row. My neighbour is a serial killer and my cellmate is a Satanist. Inverted pentagram on his forehead, part of a cult that's doing human sacrifice and drinking human blood as part of this devil worship thing. And he was actually very nice to me. Yeah, he'd read a book about Leonardo da Vinci and he gave it me and read it and I discussed it with him. We didn't have any problems whatsoever. It took 3 or 4 months for my sentence to get fixed. I mean, let's go over to medium security. Oh, actually, in super maximum security, you very rarely get out of your cell. Armed guards, the shank-proof body armour, they come and feed you through a trap in the door. And every 3 days you're allowed out for a shower. So if you want to have a shower in Supermax, you've got to, these guys come to your door in the shank-proof body armour. You've got to put your hands through the trap and then face the wall, and then the electronic door slides open and you step out like this, and they say to you, walk in a straight line to the end of the row. Shower's on the end of the run after all these other cells. If you turn your head, smile at no prisoner, talk to no prisoner, signal to no prisoner, we're just going to grab your skull and smash your teeth into the concrete. So you walk into the shower in a very stiff position, afraid what we're going to do to you. Electronic door opens, closes, you put your hands through the trap again, they take your handcuffs off you. And then there's a button that runs the shower water. Press the button. Water runs for about 10 minutes for security purposes. They leave you in there for hours on end. You can imagine what the shower is like in the Supermax prison. Men's bodily fluids on the walls, mould, like a puddle of pubic hair and stuff on the floor. And in the beginning I'm yelling at the guards, let me out, getting all frustrated. But then I thought to myself, how can I turn this to my advantage? I started to do yoga while I was in prison. And I was to get my stress level down. And there's only so many yoga positions you can do stood up. And perhaps the most ridiculous yoga position for a man to be doing in a super maximum security prison, with gang leaders over here, death row over here, is the hula hula. So there I was, going around. Couldn't help but smile to myself. At night, some of the fellas talk until all hours, because you can't help yourself, people yelling themselves to cell. That kept me awake and getting annoyed again. Put wet toilet paper, wrap it in plastic, put it in my ears. You still hear them. How can I turn this to my advantage? I know, I'm going to do yoga for as long as they talk. So my dad sent me this book on extreme yoga. I'm doing all these positions for hours on end at night. Redneck guard comes along, 2 in the morning, shines his light in. God damn, Attwood, what are you doing? I'm hung upside down like a bat. Like yoga? Yeah. So, it took about 3-4 months for my sentence to get fixed. And I ended up in medium security where I should have been in the first place. Medium security, supermax. Hopefully these guys are going to be a bit soft then. But the guard who moved me, well, the first thing he did was he took me to Sammy DeVille's son's cell to make sure we didn't have any beefs, otherwise I was going to get moved off that guard. So I went to talk to Sammy DeVille's son first. And then he played this prank by putting me in with this guy on the left as the first cellmate. He's a serial home invader torturer. He's breaking into drug dealers' houses, tying them up with duct tape, and taking ball-peen hammers to their kneecaps. That was his preferred method of torture. His welcoming statement to me: I've got a padlock and a sock. I can smash your brains in while you sleep. I can kill you with a one. He didn't like me because I was a fresh fish. He wanted to be with an old prison number, an old con, so he could just, he was doing a lot of heroin out of the cell and stuff like that. And he just looked, saw I was like a nerdy college graduate kind of person, so we just didn't get along. So, the things you look forward to the most in prison are your visits and your mail. He knew my family was flying 5,000 miles to visit me for Christmas, so he got his mate on the right, this gang member, to smash me just when I'm going to this visit with Mum and Dad. I have no idea this has been planned. I'm just walking down this corridor, happy as can be. Big guy sneaks up behind me. Bam! Starts kidney punching. All prisoners stop seeing my reaction. Gang religion, you must hit back or else you're a punk and everyone's going to prey on you. But if you do hit back and the guards see it, you are sent to lockdown, within a lockdown, and you lose all your privileges, including your visits. It's like a prison within a prison. You can't get out. I won't be able to get to see my mum and dad. I've come 5,000 miles to visit me. But if I don't hit back and I'm a punk, that means I'm going to spend the rest of my time inside cleaning people's toilets, performing sexual services, and getting rented out as a prison prostitute. So what do I risk? Adding more time to my sentence or becoming a prison prostitute? I start throwing some kicks and punches. It was like hitting a big bag of cement. Annie was trained in kickboxing. Didn't end up very well for me. She smashed me up. I go visit all injured. Mum's asking what's wrong. I can't say she had a nervous breakdown in my situation. When I get back from the visit, my cellmate's getting higher on heroin and meth and acting crazier. 90% of the prisoners were shooting up the hardest drugs. But the guards are bringing the drugs in for the games. 2/3 of hepatitis C from sharing dirty needles, which can slowly kill you by eating the liver up. So the average arrest back then for young people per week comes in, graduates to the hard stuff, heroin, gets neo-Nazi tattoos, get a swastika for shanking someone, get SS lightning bolts for collecting a debt, make their criminal connections in prison, and by the time they're out, they're caught full of criminals. It's really sad. There's no rehabilitation education. And the gang will get the neo-Nazi stuff because they know they won't get a job if they go to a job interview. The prison doesn't give them any rehabilitation because as soon as they get rearrested, $50,000 here in taxpayers' money back to the prison. It's just a racket. Yeah. So he's shown me the padlock that he's going to smash my skull in with. I got so scared, it was the only time I called for outside help. I called my family and said, look, can you put a call into the British Embassy, see if they'll call the prison and try and get me moved, because I think this guy's going to try and kill me. When they call the prison, they can't say anything I've said that will get me in trouble. That will make me snitch. KOS. Kill on sight, everyone's going to want to kill me. Fortunately, I wasn't moved without getting in any trouble. He's throwing batteries at me for a couple of weeks afterwards, until I got a cellmate who introduced me to 2 Tonys, who was a Mafia, multiple homicide murderer, serving 141 years, who left the dead bodies of rival gangsters from Arizona to Alaska, and was looking for someone to write his life story. up where we left off. My cellmate didn't tell me who Two Tonys was. He just said to me, Shaun, will you play chess with my friend? Now, why was he motivated to do this? Like I mentioned earlier, people come out of the blue to help me out, like people come out of the blue to harm me. My cellmate, Long Island, had just come from a supermax prison. And one of the, bear in mind, there's 60,000 prisoners in the Arizona State prison system back then. And the guy next door to him said, you see an English guy in the prison, he's a good dude, I did business with him on the streets, look out for him. So, out of 60,000 prisoners for this to happen, it was fortuitous. So he ends up with a cellmate. He's worried that this guy's attacked me and threatened me, and the guy's been threatening me, and it's ongoing beefs. So he says, Shaun, will you play chess with my friend? Right, there is 2 Tonys. What's he for? Multiple homicides. How much time is he doing? 141 years. Whoa, hold on a minute. Do I really want to play chess with this guy? You might get mad at me, that might be his next homicide. He's like, oh, don't sweat it, it just goes off before I can object any further. So I'm stood in the day room, sweating. 2 Tonys comes down. This is what he looked like when he was on the rampage. When I met him. Well, this was when he was with his Mafia, one of his Mafia bosses. When I met him, he looked like this. He was more of an Uncle Junior from the Sopranos character. So he saw I was nervous, and he immediately put me at ease, and he did a fake English accent. He said, have you had bloody tea and crumpets with the Beatles lately? So, throughout this game of chess, 2 Tonys is speaking his mind, so I've beaten him quite rapidly. At the end he goes, how can you beat me so fast? I said, you speak in your mind. You wouldn't show someone your cards, your hand of cards in the game of cards, would you? He slaps his head and goes, oh, me remember no. I didn't know, he was testing me. He was looking for someone to write his life story. My cellmate told him about my blogging because they'd put in the news. And he said to me, Shaun, to stay alive in the world of life, I've had to become a quick judge of character. Would you be willing to write my life story? I like you, I think you're an honest guy. And I said, yeah, I would be honoured. I wasn't supposed to be going in his cell every day to write his life story. I was sneaking in there, Christmas posted outside, and he's telling me all these stories. So, 2 Tonys work for the Banana crime family. Remember I mentioned that Mafia has 5 main families, Mafia Council. Bill Bonanno, the Bonannos back then were the most powerful of the 5 families. And Bill Bonanno, it was his exploits that inspired the movie The Godfather, such as The Wedding and stuff like that. So when 2 Tonys was starting out in the Mafia, he wasn't killing anybody yet. He was burying bodies, breaking people's bones, collecting debts. And his boss was this guy behind him, Charlie Bats Battaglia. He was a Bonanno crime family lieutenant. Back when 2 Tonys was starting out, his crime partner was a guy called Sal Spinelli. So Bats Battaglia, whenever he wanted to assign work to these guys, he would always have to meet at Sunday morning in this restaurant. And these guys would usually do what he said. As 2 Tonys rose up the ranks and started murdering people himself and getting higher and higher on cocaine and becoming more psychopathic, 2 Tonys actually ended up turning the tables on Battaglia. And this is how he earned the nickname 2 Tonys from his crime partner, Sal Spinelli. Now, Charlie Bats Battaglia, his first whack, his first kill, was the 2 Tonys out of California. Both these guys named Tony were robbing people, and they made the mistake of robbing Las Vegas operation that was Mafia owned. So the word came down from the bosses that these 2 Tonys had to be whacked. Now, the whacker who recruited Bats Battaglia, his name was Jimmy the Weasel. So Jimmy the Weasel and Battaglia go to whack these 2 Tonys. And because it's Battaglia's first whack, he's a bit scared, he doesn't shoot these guys quick enough. And the Weasel shoots both of them and makes Battaglia put some slugs in so that he's not going to later on testify against him. Now, When Two Tonys has got this power, and Battaglia calls Two Tonys and Salspanelli to the restaurant to give him this work to do, they want him to extort some guy who's an actual friend of Two Tonys. Two Tonys has been up all night on coke. He says his nostrils are like rimmed like margarita glasses. He goes in there, and this guy he's losing his power now. He's on his way down, Battaglia. He's telling him to put in his work while he just sits at home with his wife and collects all this money. And Two Tonys is getting angry and angry and angry. And in the end, he says to Battaglia, if you make a move on this guy that you've asked me to make a move on, he's a friend of mine, and I'm going to take that as a personal insult. And Two Tonys was ready then to shoot the guy in the restaurant if this went up another level. And Battaglia actually backed down. And as they left the restaurant, Salspanelli turned to Two Tonys and said, when he backed down just now, I could feel the spirit of the Two Tonys over the table. And that's how he ended up with the nickname Two Tonys. So, Two Tonys saved my life in prison. What happened was, my cellmate in Long Island, he said it might be interesting for the public for you to write a blog about how prisoners are making syringes from items you can buy from an inmate store. And the guards knew this, prisoners knew this, it was no secret. I wasn't using anybody's real name, so I didn't see the harm. I should have saw the harm that was coming. I'll read you the blog that I wrote that got posted on the internet. It was called Rig Builders. Recently, the traditional methods of procuring syringes haven't been working, so some prisoners are making their own from store items. There are 3 ways prisoners obtain syringes that I know of. Firstly, stealing them from medical, where they're most commonly used for insulin injections. Secondly, keystering, smuggling them in through visitation from a visitor's body, anus or vagina to a prisoner's anus, carefully wrapped in balloons, cling wrap or condoms. Thirdly, via the mail system concealed in cardboard greeting cards delivered by the US Postal Service in envelopes with bogus return addresses. Which store items are prisoners assembling to make syringes with? A hollow watch band pin from a Century Action watch, $2.35, sandpapered into a point. A big pen refill, 25 cents, used as a plunger. A spray tube from Just So Curl Activator, $1.55, fitted with the point and plunger to complete the outfit. These homemade syringes are larger than the monstrous contraption that gave Uma Thurman's character a life-saving adrenaline shot in Pulp Fiction. Prisoners harpooning themselves suffer considerable blood leakage. A prisoner clutching a blood-soaked arm said, "I don't know if I'm high from the dope or the blood loss." Prisoners aren't allowed internet access. I was on a medium security yard at this time, and there was a minimum security yard in the same area. And a gang leader, an area neighborhood gang leader, it's called the shot caller, the guy who's also running the drugs through the entire prison system in that area. If you control the drugs, you control the people. People will kill for as little as $50 of heroin in the prison system. Someone mailed him a copy of this, and he put out a green light, which means someone could just come and shank me to death, or attack me at the very least. So this green light just breaks out now, and I'm sat in the chow hall. One of the guys whose stories are put on the internet comes in the chow hall and says, "Look, I'm going to give you a heads up, England man. Shot caller on minimum has put a green light on you. But what he's told the yard is that you've put people's real names on the internet who are using drugs. And everyone's freaking out. You best watch your back right now. I'm going to sit here with you because shit's about to blow up." So I said to him, "Look, I never put anyone's real name on anything. As you know with my blogs, whoever I'm writing about, I use a nickname that they've chosen. They read the blog. And only then does the blog get posted out to my parents, and they put it on the internet. And I showed him the rig builders, and he read it. He says, all right, well, let's take this over to Two Tony's. So we went over to Two Tony's cell, and Two Tony's had read it as well, because he'd heard that I'd used people's real names, and he shook his head. And they both said to me, Lord Shaun, just never write about drugs in prisons, because, like I mentioned in the beginning, it's the absolute priority of the game. Anyone who gets interferes with that, you just a sit and done. So I made that huge mistake there, put my life at risk. So now half the yard want to kill me, but half the yard is suddenly protecting me because the blog has been attracting pen pals to the prisoners. It's exposed human rights stuff. Some prisoners are getting like fan mail, like Two Tony's getting fan mail, books sent to him. It's become this bridge to the outside world for the prisoners. Now, not all the guards are bad. One guard, blog readers sent so many books into the prison. One guard comes across the desert, this redneck guard, aviator glasses, chewing tobacco, comes across the yard with his cart of books. Attwood, get your ass down here. Went down to the guard. He says, how many books are you allowed in your cell? 7. 57 goddamn books in here for you. Anything over 7 is contraband and I can destroy it. Because well, I know you're filling the library up and sharing your books, I'm just going to look the other way and this book's going to disappear. All my mates can run out and grab the books. We were like a trail of hands going across the desert with these piles of books. And it was like Christmas when we got back to the cell. Everyone was sniffing the books and sharing them and running off to the cell to read the books. So, these are the reasons why half of the yard started to back me up. These guys, and some other gang members, I was in my cell lots of people who were protecting me, watching out for people, or even scared to have a shower or anything. This was my parents were coming to visit me as well. They were there to visit me. I could barely sleep while all this green light stuff was going on. So these guys, these other gang members, I hadn't dealt with so long, no one was protecting me at this point, told the guard at the front, in the bubble, Attwood, once his door popped open, he needs to come out for something, pop his door open. I heard the door pop open. These guys are all running to my door. I get to the door just in time to click it, shut again. They yell at the guard again, Attwood wants his door popping open. It's not opened. It pops again, and I'm just like, clicking it shut again, this is going on and on and on, these guys are trying to get there. They would beat the living daylights out of me at the least while this green light was going on, and relished doing it. I may have even been left for dead by these guys. One guy had a shank, and he was on meth and hooch, and he came for me. And I had a Marine friend in there who knocked him out to save me from that. So for 2 or 3 days this is going on. And in the end, 2 Tonys called in a favour with a shot caller on the other yard, and the green light was off, and it just died down as if it hadn't happened, just like that. Yeah. I was told early on, prison is like high school mentality with deadly consequences. Yeah, and I had to learn the hard way. So, Sling Blade was a guy who nobody would go near. He was a sumo-sized guy. He was mentally ill, he was a Vietnam vet, came back from the war, had a flashback, killed his father-in-law. So beyond the rec yard, just giggling and drooling, and his arm going like a banjo, and people just afraid if they got too close to him, you know, he'd just grab them and snap their necks. In the shower hall, you might be taking your tray back to the hole in the wall you dispose your chow tray, and this big hand will just grab your arm, like, enough, and it'll be Sling Blade, and just take your tray and just sit down and eat it. Sometimes the guys, to keep him calm, just when they finish left down the leftovers, just put all the trays on the table for Sling Blade. Now I tried to talk to him, tried to understand him, and half the things he said didn't make sense. He said, yeah, when I get out, I've got the Hope Diamond waiting for me, that's going to set me up for life, and I go to Florida, and things like this. And sometimes it didn't make sense, it was really sad. And I did find out that he was sentenced to 25 years. His 25 years had gone, and he was so mentally ill, he couldn't get addressed to get released. Yeah. That's all he needed, was to get addressed to get released. So I contacted Senator John McCain, who purported to help veterans, who was a veteran himself, and he didn't do anything with Slingley. And I later found out that John McCain was one of the major beneficiaries of the contribution to the private prisons. Yeah. Slingley died last year. He'd served 10 years more than his 25 years. Yeah. Nobody cared for him. It's really sad. I was always so hungry. I would give him crackers and peanut butter sometimes. He'd come to my cell. Sometimes I'd be on the balcony. All these big, bad, tough gang members would be on the balcony, and as soon as Slingley came along, they were like, get the hell off the balcony just to get out of his way. Yeah. He was so big, he almost filled the entire cell up. Right. So, because of my blog, I've got on the news now. In the very beginning, my aunt was smuggling my blogs out of the jail in maximum security. I wrote things down using the golf pencil and she smuggled them through visitation. But by now, it's got out there, it's been in the news a couple of times. The Guardian was the first one. They had a big American cockroach on the front cover. All my things I'd learned about the cockroaches and writing about the cockroaches, that was what got me on the map as a writer. So I credit the cockroaches for that. BBC ran it, and people just started to find out about it more and more. So prisoners were coming up to me asking to put their stories on the internet in the hope they would get pen pals and things like that. Frankie, Mexican Mafia Hitman, he was in the murder hire. Beat that case because all witnesses disappeared. He'd already served 29 years when I met him. And when I first met Frankie, he knew I was a chess player. So I was in maximum security lockdown pod, and he was coming up to my cell to introduce himself to have a game of chess. This was back when I had all these bleeding, itching skin infections and bed sores, especially on my behind because you sat around a lot. So as he comes to my cell window, my pants and boxers are down, and I'm applying antifungal ointment to the bleeding bed sores on my behind. He takes one look at this through the window, and then a couple of hours later I get a love letter shoved in my door. Commenting on my furry arse and proposing we have a gay prison marriage. His exact words were, I'm looking forward to shampooing your furry arse on our honeymoon in San Francisco. He was bisexual, he was a frisky fellow. I managed to keep him at bay, even though he wanted to play strip chess, and he was trying to get me to do naked yoga. But he did protect me in that situation. When a shot called about the green light, Frankie was a well-respected gang member from the Chicano gang, the Mexican Americans, and he said he would have his whole race back me up if these Aryan gang members attack me on the yard. Yeah. T-Bone, almost 6.5 foot, former Marine, trained to kill, seen action in South America. Any guys seen that movie The Green Mile? Yeah. The prisoners call him John Coffey after that character because that's how big he is. T-Bone comes to my cell door one day, just completely blocking the sunlight out. I was right on the little stool. He just stood there with his trousers on. Entire body covered in scars. Not little scars, like horseshoe-sized scars. Every scar was a different life and death prison fight story. Ultimate prison gladiator. But not only was he standing up himself, he was stopping the raping of young people. So that was the foulest thing anyone could do. Rape is so common now. You have to go what's called a rape class in prison to get taught how not to get raped. It is a complete waste of time. You watch a video, some predators are in the day room, young prisoners come in, they're hungry, they take food off the predators, they're in debt now, they can't repay it, so they get forced to repay with sexual favours. Then they get turned into prison prostitutes and rented out by the gangs. And once you become a prison pawn, that's it then, there's no turning back. Yeah. The conclusion of the rape class was, to stop rape you have to report it. If you report anything, you're a snitch. After this rape class, the young mentally ill prisoner was gang raped. Nobody reported a single thing. Yeah. So T-Bone wasn't just knocking his rapist out. He was getting stabbed in the head. Stabbed, hit in the head with river rocks and socks. He was within inches of losing his life on more than one occasion, helping these young people for no reward whatsoever. So obviously the guy's got a big heart. From telling the story across the country, students suggested we start a page up on Facebook for him, called T-Bone Appreciation Society. There's about 10,000 students on it now, and Vice magazine has an article about him as well on the back of it. He doesn't have internet, print on his wall, mail it to America. He said the highlight of his day is reading all these questions and comments from the students, and it was when he gets released, he can come out here, he can get his passport and do some talks with me. So if you're on Facebook, T-Bone Appreciation Society. And I've got an internet links card on the desk as well. Zena, 6.5-foot charismatic transgender. I'm going to refer to Zena as she because it's disrespectful to all trans prisoners here. So when Zena first came in, she didn't look like that. Clipped up with the gang, very brotherhood, blood in, blood out. These gangs use people up, brutalised them. And in Zena's case, she was gang raped multiple times. She told me about it because I was writing a blog to raise awareness of prison rape. She said the first time I was a gang rape, they beat me until I was unconscious and stuffed things inside my body. I said, well, how do you know if you're unconscious that they were raping you? When I went to the toilet afterwards, I could tell by what they came out. I said, well, what did they stick inside you? A broomstick. Yeah. So what did you do after being raped? Sat in the cell for 2 weeks waiting for the scars to go. I got moved to the yard, the same thing happened. They beat me up, raped me, used a sex toy, prostitute. There's no recourse, no one to talk to. You can't go to the guards, they'll throw you in lockdown, protection, and a dungeon for years and just leave you there. You can do absolutely nothing other than kill the perpetrators. The victim is labelled a rat, a punk, and considered less than human. I said, did you think about killing the people who do this? Thought about killing myself first, I wanted to do, I still do sometimes. At this point, Zena started crying. She couldn't answer any more questions. But she came back the next day so we could continue this vlog. I said, how did you stop it? I took the abuse for as long as I could and I started fighting. I won most of the fights. When I stood up and told them I didn't care about getting killed, it stopped. You've got to be ruthless. You've got to be ruthless. That's understatement. Zena hadn't told me the truth as to how she started this gang raping business, but she didn't want to risk getting trouble what she found. Zena was studying anatomy and she came up with an idea. The next 2 times the gang came to rape Zena. The first member of the gang to put his hand on Zena. Zena plucked his eyeball out so it was dangling from the opposite end. Yeah. I didn't even think that was possible. But I just took up karate after I got out of prison. It's called the bird beak strike. Just call it that. Like, pop the eyeball out so it's dangling out like that. And it doesn't exactly go back in and function properly either. It can cause permanent side problems and it might not be straight in a straight position. Yeah. So after doing that twice, Zena was classified as extremely dangerous. But they moved on to some of her friends. One was gang raped. They got a light bulb, shoved it in his backside and smashed it while it was in there. That prisoner committed suicide afterwards. Even worse, one was gang raped. They got a shovel from the work crew, held him there, cut his head off, and when the head was finally off, they put it in an area of the prison where the rival gangs would see it to make the point they were the most violent and ruthless out of all the gangs. And that was the area where the prison gang. These guys looked at me as a visitor to their world of my little sentence. They were all serving decades. The stories they told me just drew a line. And to this day, that's why I continue to put the stories on my YouTube channel and post the letters on my blog. In more recent years, Zena woke up one morning, drank a cup of coffee, got a felt-tip pen, drew a line down her scrotum, got a razor blade, cut her scrotum open, balls are dangling on branches called vas deferens. She gets the razor blade, inserts it into the scrotum, manages to cut off one of the balls, but the other balls didn't know what was coming. And it retracted up inside her. So she's trying to find this other testicle now. She's been cutting through grizzle and spermatic cord, whatever it's called, all this stuff. And she starts bleeding to death, but she's got it tied off to stop the blood. She's got a hammer inside herself, she can feel her own guts. Or she's got it tied to stop the blood, comes undone. The blood starts squirting across the room. She's got it covered so no one can see what she's doing, but one of her friends managed to look in. And they got a helicopter just in time to get to hospital to save her life. She was put on suicide watch for a year. And then when she got off suicide watch, she cut the other side off as well. Yeah. Xena believes she is a woman trapped in a man's body. And the transgender, they get estrogen smuggled in so that they can feel more like the woman that they believe that they are. Yeah. So, by the end of it, I'm in minimum security. And, you know, I'm about to get out and I got a year left. I managed to avoid work because I wanted to turn it into the education opportunity of a lifetime. I read over 1,000 books in just under 6 years. A lot of philosophy and psychology that enabled me to go deep inside myself and address the root causes of my drugs. And it changed my worldview. I'm reading was the life of my rehabilitation. So I get assigned to kitchen duty now. You know, I'm actually thinking now when I'm going to get out, I'm getting excited. The tempo has changed. And during a break in the kitchen, I'm in the clipper room, all these trays are coming in and we're washing these trays off, the food and stuff. During the break, I sat on the crate, and a guy who's murdered 2 people in the prison says, "That's my seat, get up." If I get up, I'm a punk. Everyone's going to want to exploit me. If I stay on the crate, I've got an issue with the guy who's murdered 2 people in the prison. If I get up, I've got an issue with everybody. What did I do? Stayed on the crate. So, I've got this workout partner at this point in time called Ironman. All the weights were taken out the hours on the prison system because there was a football bet and people didn't pay the bet and there was a massive riot and so many people's skulls got caved in with weights, prisoners, guards, they had to bring the army in to put the riot down. And these people were in the handcuffs on the rec field for days just pissing and crapping on themselves because of all the people who were murdered during this riot. So basically now it's pull-up bars and dip bars, anything that can't be weaponized. So I'm doing all this workout stuff with Iron Man. And Iron Man's then, he's familiar with this guy, Magpie his name is, the double murder. He's familiar with Magpie's history. And he says, look, Magpie was actually shot in prison by the guards. He's got a steel rod in his leg. So he started to teach me some martial arts. He's like, just do a snap kick on his leg and go for his eyeball, all this stuff. So he's running around the yard, Magpie, saying he's going to shank me. And I'm in the cell. If I go to his cell, then I'm like the instigator. So I'm just in my cell waiting for him to become an instigator on the camera so I can defend myself. Got my trainers on every night, waiting for this to go down. So 2 or 3 nights in a row this is going on. About the 3rd night he comes in my cell. So I jump up, get in the position, and there's just like a look in his eye that like made me wonder what was going on. And I said to him, "What's up?" And he said, he was just clowning, he didn't mean it. I said, "Well, look, when someone like you who's murdered 2 people in the prison says you're going to do something like shank me, because of your past, how do you think I'm going to take that?" He said, and he actually then said he was about to get released, and he didn't want to get life sentence or the death penalty by killing me. And then I stressed I was going down now. And then this sad look came over him. He said, "Look, All I know is this prison lifestyle and heroin. When I get out, I don't stand a chance. And she's looking at me like, you know, my heart's open now. I'm on the verge of tears right now. This guy thinking, one minute he wants to kill me, and now he's looking at me like, you know, can I help him in some kind of way? There wasn't much I could do for him. I arranged with a friend to try and help him move stuff when he got out, but he didn't want to do that. He ended up doing it with someone else. And I never heard from him again, so I don't actually know what happened to him. Yeah, so chronically addicted, it's really sad. That is all they know is the heroin lifestyle. So I got released in December 2007, and seeing the horror of what drug use led to, seeing the hepatitis C, the yellow jaundice, the T49, and knowing I put people on that boat of drug use, it made me ashamed of putting people on the boat of drug use. And I knew I couldn't change the past, so I pledged to just go out and share my story and hope other people wouldn't make my mistakes. So what we're going to do now then is go over to the questions. Who would like to ask the first question? Who's got it? Yes, Rebecca.
Can you tell me a bit more, or tell us a bit more about your relationship with Samuel Paul's son?
Yeah.
In prison, was he have a status?
Yeah.
Was he short or anything like that? And what do you know about his father?
Alright, so he asked about the Gravanos in prison, my relationship, what I knew about his father. When I was rising up the ecstasy ranks, when I first got to Arizona, the rave scene was all these different little cliques that were competing against each other. And every now and then one of them fell out and there was an issue. And they were all coming to me to finance their rave parties. One of my nicknames was the Bank of England by these people. So all these people are coming to me, all these little cliques, and I've got this business studies degree, so I then set this up like a corporation, and these are all divisions of my corporation working under me. So I've got the rave scene locked down, but all of a sudden, these new dealers, these jocks on steroids, start coming in, and having beefs with my people, but I don't know who they are. So, my wife at the time, she had a friend, and she said her friend was clipped up with these steroid jocks, and they wanted to meet me at this bar. So I took one of my bouncers with me, who was armed, to this bar, and there's two guys. There's the Spaniard, and there's this massive, almost 6.5 foot guy, bodybuilder. They took me into this back room and made everybody get off the sofa. And then they said to me, look, we're getting these pills. Why don't we start selling our pills? And I said, I like my pills. I'm getting them from Holland. They're beige. They're not these coloured pills you guys are selling. I've got a good reputation. I'm going to stay with my pills. And then the big guy was like, are you dissing our pills kind of thing? Who the fuck you think you are? Talking down about our pills? He goes, don't you know who we work for? Sammy the Bull, one call to him, we can have you taken out to the desert. And I knew about Sammy the Bull from the news, and the John Gotti situation and all that kind of stuff. So on the way out there, I bounced out like, how long is the piece going to last? And when they knocked the chief out of my top sales guy, Skinner, in a Scottsdale, in the toilets of the Scottsdale nightclub, that was when I moved from Phoenix over 100 miles to Tucson to live in that $500,000 house on the mountain in the gated garden community. But if anything popped off, I wanted to infiltrate their organisation as well. So I had a striptease dancer who ended up clicking up with the Gravanos and going to like barbecues at their house and everything. So I knew where they lived, I knew all the ins and outs of that. Now, what happened was, Sammy the Bull and his crew got arrested a year or so before me and my crew. And actually his arrest saved his life because the Gambinos, he turned against his boss, John Gotti. The Gambinos had a hit out on him. And they had, I think, a bomb in town. They were going to bomb him and kill him. And the police came in and basically stopped the whole plot and put the dad in jail. The dad ended up in Supermax. My cellmate Long Island played chess with him and stuff like that. Just by, not because he was in the same cell, but by shouting from cell to cell. You made your own chessboard and move in your cell, and he moves on his cell. He said he was a good chess player. But I never met Sammy the Bull Gravano personally. I just met his son. So when I was sent to that 1 yard, because my case had been in the news, and their case had been in the news, high-profile ecstasy cases, before the guard took me to the serial home invader cellmate, they took me straight to Gravano's cell. And Gravano had a cutting from the newspaper about my blogging, and we talked about that, and he was like, yeah, you know, kudos for exposing Sheriff Joe, because everybody hated Sheriff Joe. Yeah. And since then, we've just communicated by email. Yeah.
What's his status like?
Sammy the Bull's son, or Sammy the Bull? Sammy the Bull ended up in the Supermax security prison in Florida. Not Florida, Colorado. In Colorado. I can't remember the name. It's like the mother of all Supermaxes, the Supermax of the Supermaxes. I think Gotti was in that one as well, when he got beat up by somebody. So I'm not exactly sure, you know, it's just high profile. People won't mess with it because he's such a serious killer. But Sammy the Bull's son, people look at them as targets for money. Yeah. So, where I was at, he was doing alright, but I can only say so much here this evening because this is getting filmed. I best leave it at that. Yeah. Don't want to recreate any problems. Right. See me afterwards. Who else has got anything? Anyone else got any more questions? Yes.
Do you still do yoga?
Yeah, I do yoga. Do some soul salutations in the morning, a bit of meditation. Love yin yoga. If I do a double whammy back to back, an hour of yin and then an hour of meditation, that is the closest I ever feel to being like in ecstasy. I'm literally in my car, driving home, just look at a light, it's turning green, and I'm just smiling in the clouds, listening to DJ Sasha. Yeah. So yeah, I had anxiety, and it's the perfect antidote to anxiety. Yeah. If you sat on the computer all day as well, you really need to stretch. I tried to get my karate guys to go yoga. It's like asking them to do ballet dancing. Yeah, they start karate out with 20 minutes of yoga, but they just call it stretching. Yeah. Right? Anyone else? Yes?
What do you miss about prison?
What I miss about prison are the good times with people I bonded with for the rest of my life. You know, I can describe it to you guys, but when you go through something that's extremely intense, the only people I know understand it 100% of the guys I was in there with, and it makes me feel bonded with them for life. So yeah, you know, going into Two Tonys, cell, people coming in, paying their respect to Two Tonys, that respect rubbing off on me, him introducing me to his friends as his official biographer. Just moments like that, you know.
Did it take, after coming out, did it take you a long time to readjust, not having that crime?
Readjusting after getting sent back to the UK, it was like, I was a bit institutionalised, and Mum said there's like a puppy dog born on the house waiting for orders. And there was like a reverse culture shock as well. I went to the fish and chips place with my hometown listeners and tried to order chips, curry and rice. And I couldn't understand the word they said with the northern accent. They had to bring someone else speak to me slowly as if I was mentally ill. So I was really sad, you know, writing Two Tonys' life story. Two Tonys' life story, it's like it's been a 12-year project. It's just got published this week. It's available now worldwide on Amazon. It's called The Mafia philosopher. When I wrote the end of that book, I cried. And even when I read it again, I cried again. Two Tonys died in 2010, sadly from liver cancer and his own drug taking. But as, you know, not making excuses for his crimes, he taught me a lot about life. He taught me about appreciating the small things. One of his favourite books was A Day in the Life of Ivan the Nosovich, where they were working these guys to death in the gulag. And he would Two Tonys would laugh at the prison when they complained. And I wake up now thinking, the spirit of Two Tonys is in me to appreciate the small things. There's no dead rats in the food anymore. There's no cockroaches in the bed. I'm free, I'm in the West. All these horrible things going on around the world that you hear in the news. And I just appreciate every day that I'm alive and what I've got. Yeah. You know, when you're facing a 200-year sentence, first year if I've been released, I would have gone back to the lifestyle. But once you're facing a 200-year sentence, that doesn't matter anymore. One of the happiest days of my life was getting sentenced to 9.5 years because I could see when I was going to get out. You millions and your house in Manson and all that stuff, who cares? You just want to get your life back, and I appreciate it. Yeah. Okay? Yep.
So you're doing more humanitarian stuff now. So who are you working with? Are you doing, you go to schools and stuff like that? Are you working, is it more about the prison system, or is it more sort of global?
Okay, so you asked like the structure of like how I'm working with. So, because I had a criminal record, when I got out, I was on the door, they're sending me to like telesales interviews. I'm telling them my criminal record, because you've got to declare it, so I can't get a job. And then the door was saying, you need to start lying now, or we're going to, you're never going to get a job. The mental health team threatened to section me. I told them I've been on meds in prison, but now I feel okay. And they said, well, when you feel okay, that means you're grandiose, you've got to double your medication. And they were threatening home visits and to section me. And when I moved down south, that completely stopped my medical file didn't transfer. So, because of my criminal record, I'm a self-employed person as a public speaker and an author. I'm a public speaking agent, I'm a literary agent. Most of what I do is 80% is speaking in the state schools. A lot of what you've heard today, but more of the consequences of the drugs lifestyle and more about when we had a nervous breakdown, what happened to your family and things like that, in the hope they won't get involved in drugs and crime. I become this activist, spokesperson speaking out about incarceration in America and the war on drugs. I fully deserve to be punished. Prisons are for people who harm society. So murderers, rapists, pedos, drug dealers, they harm society. If someone murders someone as a victim, if most arrests are kids with weed, who is that kid hurting? Themselves? There's no person A hurting person B, they're hurting themselves. That requires mentorship. That requires counselling. It requires maybe mental health. These kids need to have something positive to channel that energy into. So my philosophy has become more education and less incarceration. Yeah. Prisons have a purpose, definitely. We should look at the Scandinavians, and they've got the lowest reoffending in the world. They do give people educations and job skills. But when we try to introduce them, the media says, pedos are going to get job training at taxpayers' expense. And then it gets pulled, because the politicians, their votes are all that they care about. Yeah. As long as you have got politicians in charge of criminal justice, it's always going to end up disaster. Because all they care about is votes. Clinton's brother was a cokehead who got arrested selling coke to undercover cops. Clinton put so many women and non-violent drug offenders and black kids and Mexican kids in prison. Way more than Bush, who even came before him. Yeah. So there's a big double standard out there. Most of these politicians are the biggest crooks, bigger than the people I met in prison. Okay, next question. Yeah.
When you come up, did you ever find yourself slipping back into a prison mentality when you deal with things that you are prepared?
Yes. Yeah, he asked about prison mentality. I've only had about 3 incidences of prison rage. When I moved to Guildford from Widnes, I got a one-way van. And my mate, he went to take the van back to drop it off at the rental place. And these cocky lads and they were like, you can't park right where you got to move over there. So I moved it, went back in. We don't say one ways here, but they were really. The rules of prison don't apply to society. And if someone talks to you a certain way in prison, if you don't start swinging at them, you're going to get like brutalised and forced into performing oral sex and stuff like that. So it activated my prison rage. And I started screaming at these guys, head in the face, like I was going to fight my mates, pulling me back. But yeah, I had to do a lot of yoga after that one. It was my 10-year anniversary of my release last Christmas. I've not had anything like that for a long time. Yeah. Anyone else? Yes?
Clearly do a lot of good work now and going into schools.
Thanks.
Taking that into account,
school kids sometimes ask me to do it all over again. And I say yes and no. I say no because of the harm it causes society and my loved ones, but I say yes because I was totally emotionally immature, and being forced to go through this, it completely changed me in a way that I view the world differently and set my life into a whole new positive path. It's brought me here tonight to speak to you guys. So I credit everything for bringing me here and helping me get out there and spread the word to people. Yeah. If you go on my Twitter, you can see all the live feedback coming from the kids. And sometimes parents of kids request to meet me. They say, look, we'll look if we can get a run with our kid when he comes home from school. After your talk, you wouldn't shut up about it. It was the first time I sat down and talked about drugs. I did a talk in Woking, and the kid was so inspired she went on to do a criminology degree at Winchester Uni. And her family even invited me to the graduation. Yeah, so you never know the effects they have on people. Yeah.
Said you feel back to the harm in drug trade. Did you any other exercise?
They classified us as a poly-drug organisation because when you got about 200 people working for you, basically people who sell medicine were one-stop shops for a lot of other stuff as well. What we classified as club drugs. So, ketamine, ecstasy, some speed, some mushrooms, and Xanax to come down and all our drugs off after partying all weekend.
No, there's nothing that is that harmful. Even if you crack cocaine, heroin, meth, the impact of society.
The Mexican cartels have got those drugs on lockdown in Arizona because we're right next to the Mexican border. Yeah, so I was like a club drug guy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. If anyone, we've got over time, if anyone wants to go, that's fine. I'm perfectly happy to keep the questions going. Go on. Drugs are legalised. I think that all drugs should be legalised, and that might sound shocking to some people. Kids in America right now are saying it's easier for them to get heroin than it is alcohol, because the drug gangs don't have any problems at all about selling anything to school kids. Drugs should be in the hands of doctors, which is where they were before these drug laws were invented. Because of drug laws, we've got a balloon expanding every year that they estimate now is up to $1 trillion in the illegal black market in drugs. When alcohol was made illegal in America, before alcohol harms people that make it illegal, everyone's going to be happy. The Mafia came in, Al Capone's running around with his machine guns, violence went off the scale, the gangsters made the highest concentration liquor, and all the problems multiplied. And the Americans said, alright, about 10 years of this, we've got to stop, it's out of control. Same thing's happened with the drugs market, but they've not stopped it. Look at Mexico right now. The cartels are hanging people from lampposts, putting signs up saying, we are the law. Over 10,000 people dead in Juarez, murder capital of the world. All because the gangsters are making all this money. The only way to take out the hands of the gangsters is to bring it back to the hands of the government and doctors and to sequester it from people. Yeah. Okay, anyone else? Yeah.
You had so many people working for you by then.
Yeah.
It sounds really good. How do you recruit? Because normally it starts off with close friends and friends.
How did I recruit when it was 200 people? Alright, so my organisation is structured as a corporation. So we had a head of every division. So that varied, maybe there was 10 heads at one point, it was 20 at the maximum at another point. So then those heads have got those middlemen working under them, and then those middlemen have got the street level people under them. So my theory was that the people right under me, the heads of the divisions, if they get arrested, I know then I'm in trouble because that's my shield. And we have a crime family dinner every month with the heads, with the heads of the divisions. So I'm thinking I'm smart with the police now. You know, I've got this shield, but the police are always one step ahead. They arrested all of us on the same day in groups. Yeah, and I even flew people over from the UK, put money in the names, thinking I won't have to contact my parents to help me. I get my mates to bail me out. The police put a virus on my computer called the NetBus Trojan Horse, showed me where I got all that money, and all of my money was seized. So I was daft enough to put myself in the position of being a wealthy person, getting involved in drugs. it was worth $2 million in the stock market. I didn't even need to get involved in the drugs. It was all ego, excitement, and emotional maturity. If I'd have stayed in the stock market, I'd probably be worth about $10 million right now, instead of having to rebuild my life from scratch. Yeah. Okay, anyone else?
Why have you not gone back to the stock market?
I am going back to the stock market, and I am 100% invested in Canadian cannabis shares. My first ever investment after British Telecom, actually, one of my early investments was Glaxo Pharmaceuticals as well. So there are legal ways to make money off drugs. Cannabis right now is the fastest growing industry in the world. And this isn't about people getting blazed. Hemp has thousands of industrial applications. The reason weed was made illegal in the first place was because pharmaceutical societies in America didn't want people growing free medicine in their own backyards. Yeah. I know people who had cancer and got on the oil with the THC in it, and people have been sent home to die and have cured their own cancer. And they knew in the 70s that THC would shrink cancerous tumours in rats. The Bush and Reagan presidencies ordered the destruction of all research into medicinal cannabis in America. Yeah, all about protecting pharmaceutical companies. The Partnership for a Drug-Free America is putting out all these ads about weed making kids want to become axe murderers and stuff like that. It's financed by Big Pharma, alcohol, and tobacco. Yeah, but we saw for the first time a Canadian cannabis company called Canopy Growth, a beer company, has made a major investment in it. And I think we're going to see another announcement next month, Afria, which is another Canadian one. A beer company is going to make an investment in them. Now, I'm not 100% since last year, but the cannabis shares, they're extremely volatile. They're down about 50% in the last month. So now is a good time to start to get back into them. If you don't know which ones, just send me an email. It's alright, I'll keep asking questions. You can go.
We need text already.
Oh, you have to close the building?
Yes.
I'm sorry, guys. If you like tonight's talk, one thing's going to ask you to do. I do have 4 different talks as well, so I might be coming back to Bristol and doing some of my other talks. So hope to see you then. Appreciate you being such a great audience coming out this hot day.